Okay, you guys. So our next reading lesson is on the first day of school, Unit 2. And when I looked at the lesson, I thought that probably we should have read this on the first day of school, but it's actually not talking about that. It's also talking about a historical time in history, like in 1958, during the time that schools had to be segregated. Okay, so but one thing about this lesson, the essential question is what keeps people from giving up, and also it's kind of parallel with I Am Malala, where it says never give up. So if you were to tell another student what keeps people from giving up, or can you tell somebody um, how to keep them from giving up on something, what would you say?
Take deep breaths in.
Take deep breaths in. Can anybody else share? Count to 10. So if somebody going through something and they tell you, I'm about to give up, I don't want to try this anymore, I don't want to do this anymore, what else can someone say?
They can keep trying.
Keep on trying.
Try harder.
Try harder. Okay, because even though I'm standing up in the middle of the classroom and I'm at the end of my program and I feel like giving up, really. Because some things that just happened within a couple weeks and I'm like, I'm about to throw in the towel. So what would you say to me to keep me from giving up?
You gotta keep going. Perseverance.
Huh? I should not give up. What about you?
You gotta keep going.
I gotta keep going. Anybody else before we get started? Okay, so the genre of this story is a short story. You are going to be able to analyze the plot and the character. So when you read the story, I want you to be able to take note of the character, analyze the characters, who the characters are, analyze the setting and the time period. So there are going to be two stories. The first story that we're going to read, we're going to look at, is the first day of school. Now, if you look at this picture here, this right here is the first day of school when segregation began to start. I think it was in 1958. This right here is more like from New Kids. So this is more of a modern day type of school. So you are going to be comparing historical time period, which is a setting for the first day of school, and then you are also going to look at the graphic novel by Jerry Craft, which is from a New Kid. It's more like an up-to-date, modern time in school. Okay. All right, the first day of school. Who'd like to read up under this, the first day of school? Who'd like to read that? Trinity, go ahead.
It's the first morning of the first day of school, but this day isn't like any other. What was it like for those first grade students
Integrate.
integrate our school?
Okay, so let me talk about me. When I was going to school, in that time period, I went to Hamilton High School. The school was, we went through a period where the school was integrated all during that period, and I'm telling you, it was like a culture shock.
Mr. Howard, you have a parent in office?
It was like a culture shock. Okay.
I'll be there in a moment.
Okay, can someone
Thank
read
you.
where it says from New Kid? Can I have someone to read that, please? Charity?
Students in the kid at Central School where he discovered that the kids sometimes go to the wrong church and he doesn't understand.
And guess what? And these schools are more modern today. So why a lot of kids don't get along? People have what?
Because people can go there and
Anybody else? Social media has a lot to play with it. Yes, play into it. Cyberbullying,
In-person bullying.
in-person bullying. So moving forward, I want you to pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say. You are going to analyze setting and the time. So a setting. So what is a setting in a story? When someone says, "What is this? What is a setting? What's a setting?" The place where the story is taking place. Okay. Charity. Right. And so now here we are going to look at different time periods for the setting. Okay.
How many you have, sweetie?
All right. So looking at these two stories, this right here is a time, a setting in 1958. You're going to be comparing this historical period with the modern times in school, the current or the today time for this period. All right. Engage your brain. Choose one or more of these activities to start connecting with the story you are about to read. Your first day. Once upon a time, it was your very first day at your school. Describe your experience on that day. Write or sketch your response. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to write or sketch your response. Can somebody read where it says, "I don't want to go"? Someone read that, please. You can read the rest of your book if you want to.
I don't want to go. This is all my students might decide they really don't want to go to school and this possibly they then vote on which ones are really.
Okay. In the box here, I want you to write, take about 3 minutes, and I want you to write in that box. It says in a small group, list possible reasons. So anybody in your group area, you have about 3, some of you guys have 4 people in your groups. Can you guys discuss your reasons? And I'm going to ask you like in 2 minutes, if you guys can come up with about 2 or 3 things. Okay? So it says, think about reasons why students might decide that they really don't want to go to school. Some of you guys, that's your decision even now. Some of you guys will say, I just didn't want to come to school today, but there's a reason. So listen, I want you to share out loud some of the possible reasons. Okay? So if you tell your parent, I don't want to go to school, and they let you stay home, what is really the reason why you don't want to go to school? Okay? Okay, so Yasmin said it's boring. Sometimes it's fun.
Or sometimes
Sometimes some people are getting bullied and they kind of don't want to come to school. Sometimes you're sick, but wait a minute. Let's say this. I have a question for you. So it say here, why students might decide that they really don't want to go to school. So what if you're not sick, you're not being bullied,
you just lazy and don't want to get up.
you just lazy, you don't want to get up. Anybody else want to add?
Or
Or
you're tired. Ooh, I got one. Or you
Okay,
miss the
tired,
bus.
don't feel like it,
Or you miss the bus.
or you missed the bus. Okay, so right now you should be writing at least one of those options. You should write that in that box. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. Everybody should be writing that down before we go to the next box. The reasons why people don't want to go to school.
Hello, Miss Anderson.
Okay, so we have one more box we're gonna do, and then we're gonna move on to page 126. Okay, so let's read. Let me read this.
We don't see that box.
It's on 123. Okay, way back when with the group, list what you heard about schools in the 60 years ago. Way back when today's 70 years old were children. Then share your list with the class. So, can we use about 2 minutes to do this part before we go into our reading? So, have your grandparents told you anything about when they were going to school in the 60s? Have you heard anything versus your mom or your parents that went to school? She got okay. So what about during the time where they had to go to a different school where they were black and they had to probably go to a school that was probably predominantly all white? Did they share anything about
They said white.
okay? Anybody else? Anybody else want to share? So at this time, write that in your box on your page, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to go to page 126 in our book. And then what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to read with each other at your tables. And then we're going to do a small group setting when it comes to answering.